Messy military lawyer. Hey, you guys, I'm going to be doing some content. I know I've been a little bit absent. I will be doing a live pretty soon to kind of fill you guys in about what's been going on and some of the updates that I have to offer you. But in the meantime, I have to say that my practice can be incredibly draining. My practice can be incredibly tough, right? Because I'm walking through the paths of people who are going through some of the most significant times of their lives. Very often, most often, courts martial are just these really solemn, very serious events, as they should be. And sometimes things happen that in the context of what's going on are freaking hysterical, and you have to stifle yourself from laughter. If you've ever seen me in court, if you've ever wanted to see me in court, you know that I'm dying if I do one of these. So I'm gonna do some content now and in the next several videos over the next several days. Hopefully they'll bring you some levity, because I kind of need to be reminded of some times that are actually pretty funny. Okay, so the first blooper that we're gonna talk about that I'm going to talk about happened in Baumholder Germany, circa around the fall of 2007. So I'm a defense attorney. I'm defending a case. It's like a classic kind of like a barracks fight. My client was the E5. He was accused of conspiring with some E2s and E3s in the barracks to beat up this other E3. And so we are there, and we did what I call a naked plea. People call a naked plea. It means you plead guilty to something without benefit of a deal, but you contest the rest. It gives us, as the defense, the argument to be able to say, he pleaded guilty to what he did, he took responsibility, and this other stuff is a bunch of hooey, right? And so we just get down to the nitty gritty. So he had pleaded guilty, and he does that to the judge alone, and then it turns to the findings of the rest of the stuff that's contested. And we had opted for an all-officer panel. In Baumholder Germany at this time, I kind of called them co-presidents, and realized that in military practice, you often will get the same panel members, not exactly the exact same for each case, but you'll often see a repeat, right? And so I kind of called these guys the co-colonels, the co-presidents. I'd seen them multiple times. They knew me. Maybe they knew the prosecutors. On this particular case, there was a pretty junior prosecutor, and then there was an activated reservist who obviously had a lot of experience in the civilian world, but didn't really feel super comfortable with military procedure, which can be very different. And so this was sort of what's going on over there? So after the trial counsel reads the initial part of the script, it's a solemn moment, and all the panel members have filed in, and everyone's there, and the judge is trial counsel, by whom is this court-martial convened? And they stand up, the court-martial convened by court-martial convening order number, blah, 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 blah. And then the judge says a few things, and then the trial counsel has to read out the names of the members who were there. It used to make me nervous because I hate offending people by mispronouncing their name. And so I always ask the bailiff, hey, go verify these names. And I always, as a courtesy, would tell that to the defense so that when they're doing voir dire, that they would feel comfortable. None of us needs to offend anybody. It's a pet peeve of mine. People have often mispronounced my name. Drives me nuts, right? So after the trial counsel kind of fumbles through the names of the panel members, because clearly he had not bothered to find out about their names, then it comes the time when there's this very long oath that you read to the panel to swear the panel in. The panel has an oath that they have to take. And it's in the script. And I had committed to memory when I was a prosecutor, because I thought, okay, this is somebody had told me long ago, if you want to go above and beyond and you want to establish your credibility, demonstrate, this is what you do. And so I committed it to memory. It's pretty long, but whatever. And then if I needed it, I had it written in big print, and I always had it in my trial notebook. So it's that moment when they're supposed to go swear in the members, and I'm sitting back, and I'm watching to my right where the prosecution table is, and they're going back and forth, and bickering among the two prosecutors. And do you have it? No, I don't. Do you have it? Do you have it? And I'm are you kidding me? Sometimes I'll bail out a prosecutor, and I started to sort of go hand them what they needed, because I also don't believe in just being ugly for the sake of being ugly, right? And so then it looks like one of, he's like, "Oh, you do it. You do it. Okay." And so the one goes and marches into the well of the courtroom, which is like where the podium is, where we're about to do voir dire and all that. And he says, "Please raise your right hand." And then he says, "Do you swear or affirm the evidence you shall give in the case now in hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?" That's the oath for witnesses. That's the oath for witnesses. And so these two, and I'm over there and I'm like, and the two very senior colonels who've sat on multiple courts martial, like one of them turns to the other one and he goes, "Hey, Herman, are you testifying today?" And he's like, "No, Bob, wasn't planning to. How about you?" And I'm like dying. But it's like a solemn thing. Like, this is a court martial and I don't want to be seen as like being mean to these prosecutors. And so I'm just like, I'm trying to like maintain my composure, and the judge like cuts them off and says, "Trial counsel, sit down." And then he reads them the right oath. And maybe that doesn't seem as funny to all of you, but oh my gosh, it sure was funny to me, and I needed to laugh today. So, messy military lawyer.